Hey there, everybody. Well, I thought I'd do a video on another of the vacuums that I've finally got done fixing it up and getting it back into operating shape. I mean, it was working, but I need to do a couple of things, and it's my Riccar Radiance, and I think this is probably the first model, I guess. I'm not sure, because when I got it or later on or whatever, the sticker would usually be here for the model, and it's not, so I must have rubbed it off or something. This used to be my daily use vacuum, back when I lived in the other house, and we had more, so here we have just this carpet, and all through here's wood in the rooms and everything. But at that house, it was carpet everywhere, so that's what led me to choose this one. I don't know exactly how old it is, but it's definitely 10 years old at least, that I've had it, and I know that there's people on here that would know exactly how old it is, but I would say it's about that old. It was Christmas gift from my parents, so that was really good. It basically, as soon as I saw it when it came out on the market, I went and wanted to get it. So this is probably the first version, like I say. And yeah, so what was wrong? Well, not really, it was operating, but stuff to get it up and fully functional, I should say. So I've got brand new filters now. So I've got new filters. Both filters are new, and I've got a new let me see. I've got a new filter for the there we go. So I've got a new I guess it's the carbon dust filter. I'm not for sure on that, but got a new one of those now. And yeah, so really interesting vacuum. I mean, this thing just, it's like, I wouldn't, I don't know. Like I was about to say, it hits the carpet as hard as the Kirby, but I wouldn't want to say that it's as good as the Kirby. I mean, I don't know for sure. It's just a really good carpet vacuum, and anyhow, but what is new is I've got a brand new set of bristles on it, a brand new set of brush strips on it. They after the years I'd used it, it got worn all the way down to almost a nub, where it's just somewhere just so wore down. And this brush roll is kind of interesting. I guess they're trying to do like a beater bar effect, I assume, because it's got the little ridges in this roller. But anyhow, that's kind of the gist of this vacuum. But I really enjoyed it for that home. Like I say, it's a little bit of a bigger house than this too. Like I'd already mentioned, I'd moved house 2 years ago. But anyway, and but I do break it out and go over this carpet, because my my everyday use one is the Auric, and because like I say, we have all these little area rugs, and I just feel like I couldn't beat it for how it's just easy to sweep over everything with it, and it's still a decent quality vacuum for sure. I mean, you definitely, if you had more like above the floor, which I have another vacuum I would use for that, so it's not too big of a deal. I actually have the little canister as well, but I usually use the which I'll show it in a later video with me mentioning it, I know. But I'll use the Miele for above the floor usually. And anyway, but I will say, this has decent power for its hose and stuff. I mean, having the two motors is really pretty darn good. I mean, I think the only think the only side effect is it, you know, it, instead of being like those where, you know, we're not trying to be like, oh, it's in high amperage and all that, but this one kind of is. I think it's a 12 amp, so it's, you know, it's quite a, takes quite a bit of power, but it, like I say, I feel as though it does a great job, especially now having the new bristles. That's another thing I wanted to reach and plug it in. That's another thing I want to mention, though, is because this has, when the bristles were worn down really far, you can feel it, and it will feel like you have to push really hard. So that's what led me to go get a set of brush strips. And then I also learned, too, when I did that, is my friend working at the vacuum store, like I say. And the little tip that I learned is that with this one, and I mean, I'm sure that all the other Riccars, I assume, I guess, and, you know, in simplicity and Maytag, I assume are, you know, because they were made by Tacony. And anyway, but is that I've got it, you just leave it on auto all the time on the settings. So it's got auto is where I leave it all the time. The low ones are floor, and then just low. And then it has a high and an extra high. So it's got 5 height adjustments. And yeah. And then if you want to use the tools, you just go on to tools on and tools off for the little valve. And then you've got the 2 switches. You know, this is the clean air motor and the direct air motor. And yeah, that's almost everything about it. I think the only poor thing is starting to get, I'm trying my very best, guys, I promise, but my poor thing's still getting a little bit scuffed up since I used it every day, and I still use it pretty often. This goes to show you it's a decent quality machine, no doubt, you know. So we'll give it a little run, and yeah. And it really pulls itself really good now with having the new strips on it. I mean, I'm feeling it beating the carpet as well. It's really good. You can really see it bring that up as well, so it does really well. And then you can turn the brush off if you want to. Alright, so that's the Riccar Radiance. I guess it's an RAD.8 would be the model. Like I said, I don't know for 100% certain on it. But yeah, so that's kind of, I know it's not a budget vacuum or anything. I mean, I'll probably do a separate one talking about that, but I mean, like, I feel like you have to match the vacuum to your needs, you know? And at the time when I lived in that house, this is what met my needs, so I guess you kind of have to think of it that way. And, you know, and then if you do have the need that you, I mean, it's not, of course, it's not ideal, you know, for longevity purposes, but for a short-term purpose, and you want to you know, and you'd want a shark or something, then, you know, then that's fine, you know, that, if that's what works for you. But I don't know, I just knew that for my own needs, that a bagged one that did like the best I could get on carpet. So anyway, guys, I hope you have a great day and hope you have a good weekend coming up, and I'll see you when I can.